the board members of Aryan Capital, all the family members, Swati, Arpit, Mohini. Thank you for a warm welcome here. It's a pleasure to be here today amongst friends and investors. These are interesting times, and I've been speaking to a lot of you yesterday and look forward to speaking to you today informally. And multiple questions have come about what is the future of this industry. Are our children joining this industry or not? What do we believe should be our role in society? And the most important thing is, are we going to earn money or not earn money? Everything flows. Can I just get a mic? Because what? Yes, cordless. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. This is much better because I don't want something to come in between all of us. So I'm going to be down here and going to present from here. I'm sorry, I'll come here so that everybody can hear me. I'm going to break this session into 3 parts. First part is where I will share why I have earned a lot of money in the markets. Kaise kiya? Second part I'm going to address is कि while earning, I had a lot of short-term problems. Market नीचे जाएगा, कल क्या होने वाला है? I'm going to address that. And third thing is there's a lot of experience here, and I want to come and understand in a question-answer dialogue how we will do things. All right? So when I started, when I was growing up, I started reading the Mahabharata. तो मुझे समझ नहीं आया कि एक साइड में 100 कौरव है और दूसरे साइड में 5 पांडव है. कृष्ण भगवान एक ही थे जिन्होंने सारे कौरवों को परास्त कर दिया. He was the reason that Pandavas won, and they went through multiple problems. So I never understood whether quantity makes sense or quality makes sense as I was growing up. But Mahabharata had a big impact on me. For me, I believed in our Hindu philosophy that gods exist, there is faith out there, and whatever has been taught correctly. So मैंने सोचा कि when I started my career, I'm an engineer, so I want data for everything. When I started my career, मेरा एक लक्ष्य ये था कि मुझे अपने इन्वेस्टमेंट्स में कृष्ण भगवान और पांडव चाहिए. मुझे कौरव नहीं चाहिए अपने इन्वेस्टमेंट्स में जिनके साथ मेरा पैसा बनेगा. I only want Pandavas and Krishna Bhagwan there. So I said that how do I find these? What is the way to be able to identify these things? So there were 3 data points that I looked at. First data point is they were successful. So I looked at what is the billionaires list. Ultimately, there is a lot of success at the billionaires list. Second data point I looked at was कि यार one data point or 1 year does not make a statistic. So I went over 30 years of data. मतलब बहुत मेहनत लगी. ये डेटा कलेक्ट करने का मुझे 2-2.5 साल लगे. Third thing was I started speaking to people. ये तो थियोरी हो गया, एक्चुअली किसी ने ये करके दिखाना चाहिए. So I started speaking to people like me who started out with zero, and to see from starting out from zero, have they created wealth? 3 data points that I looked at. Focus was, does investing in Pandavas or Krishna Bhagwan make money? And if the answer is yes, then what are the characteristics of these investments? So 30 साल का data collect कर लिया, spoke to about 150-200 people. So first thing was that if I look at the billionaires list, 96% of billionaires are what we would want to be ultimately, and that was what my goal was, because if I have Krishna Bhagwan, I will definitely become one. So I wanted to know how many businesses does every billionaire own to become a billionaire? कोई गेस लगा ले सकता है कि 96% कितने businesses थे? How many businesses did 96% of billionaires own to become a billionaire? How many? किसी के पास आंसर होगा? हाँ? What was the answer? One. Any other answers? Anybody has different? 50, 100, 5, 25, 5. All right. So the answer is 96% of billionaires owned one business. You know, and if you've heard this before, I don't think you should answer the next one. So matlab ki there is something, if they did well, it works. Second thing, जो बाकी के 4% है, people who are investors like Warren Buffett. I went and met him this time, also just to collect data on what he does. So I started identifying what the other 4%. So for example, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. You know, people here know Ramesh ji, Damani, and Radha Kishanji's daughter is married to my brother. But so I started asking, finding out कि उनके पास कितने business. So how many businesses do you think Rakesh Jhunjhunwala owned or created $1 billion for him? One. Not true. हाँ? नहीं. दो कौन से हैं? नहीं, property didn't earn money for him. But in the stock market, first $1 billion. मैं $1 billion के बाद तो I can see that I can diversify, right? But first $1 billion, how many businesses earned? कौन से वाले थे? It was investments in stocks, but कौन से वाले थे? Praj Industries. नहीं, Praj went down. So one was Titan. Titan earned. Second was Crisil. Third was Lupin. 3 businesses that he invested in. Baki did not do that much money. It did not earn as much money for him. He had 3 businesses that created wealth for him. Alright? I analyzed 160 businesses over 30 years. What were the characteristics of a great business? That is what I wanted to find out. So पहले ये देखा कि अगर 10 साल में बिजनेस है तो 3 years out of 10 years मैंने एक टर्म देखा. अगर मुझे कोई बिजनेस 10 साल होल्ड करना, ये सारे बिजनेसेस जिन्होंने होल्ड किए थे, ऑल द बिलियनियर्स इंक्लूडिंग राकेश झुंझुनवाला, they held this business for at least 10 to 20 years. So क्या कॉमन था? अगर मेरे को कोई बिजनेस 10 साल होल्ड करना है तो मुझे उसका कैश फ्लो ग्रो करना है. आज अगर 50 करोड़ है, 10 करोड़ है, और अगर 10 साल में वो 500 करोड़ हो गया या 100, बस दैट्स इट, थैंक यू. हाँ, 100 करोड़ से अगर कैश फ्लो 1000 करोड़ हो गया और वो भी ऑपरेटिंग कैश फ्लो, तो ही बिजनेस की वर्थ बढ़ेगी. आई कैन प्ले एनी रेशियोज और मल्टीपल्स फॉर 1 year, 2 years, 3 years कि इसका P 8 है, 15 हो जाएगा या 20 हो जाएगा या 25 हो जाएगा. पर अगर मुझे कोई बिजनेस 10 साल होल्ड करना है, अगर कैश फ्लोस नहीं बढ़ेंगे तो यू विल नेवर, देन द गाइज यू वुड हैव पिक्ड अप। तो आपको 25% आता था, एक में 70% आता था। So external environment, if you pick, you'll still make money. You pick internal environment, you'll become a billionaire. And I can write this anywhere, anytime that you'll want. Any other questions? I'm going to move on. This is research, yeah.
You have mentioned about zero-debt companies.
Right.
See, when the GDP is very fast, when the economy is growing very fast, and the ROE of the company is much, much higher than the interest rates. So, will it not make a sense for the company to take some nominal debt well within the ratios and go ahead?
It's a great question. भैया तुम्हें डेट से परहेज क्यों है? मतलब यार डेट इज ऑलवेज गुड. यू टॉक टू चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स, दे विल ऑलवेज से कि यार कम ले रहे हो, ग्रो नहीं करना है, तो भी यू नो यू आर यंग, यू शुड ग्रो. दैट्स अ ग्रेट क्वेश्चन. एंड आई ग्रेजुएटेड, मेरे को भी समझ में नहीं आया कि यार मेरे को डेट से परहेज क्यों है. सो आई स्टार्टेड टॉकिंग टू एंटरप्रेन्योर्स कि भैया you know, you've become so successful, why haven't you borrowed money? So I'll give you two examples. Okay, the first example is you have 1 crore rupees to invest. You find a great opportunity. Okay, what is the objective of your money? Two objectives. One is wealth creation, money has to earn money, and second is capital preservation. जो मैंने इतने मेहनत से बनाया हुआ है, या whatever I have got, I should not lose that. Two objectives. So with those two objectives you find an opportunity and you invest in that. एक साल में you have a red flag, something is not right. What do you do? What do you do? So how many people will quit? I'll answer your question with this. One person will quit. How many people will continue? One person will continue. So there are two options. Some people will quit, some people will continue. Let's say, you know, you have 1 crore rupees in your pocket and you find a great opportunity. You have a banker friend next to you. He says, yeah, I like this opportunity. Let me give you 2 crore rupees as debt. आपने उस अपॉर्चुनिटी में 3 करोड़ रुपया डाला, and 9 months later you find a red flag. What happens? What happens? You know, most people who have debt, their decision making changes because of that. They said, yeah, let me ignore the red flag. People who have cash will say, यार छोड़ो यार, नहीं हो रहा है, let me quit. 75% of people who don't have debt will come back to step one, saying that let me get out and come back. People who have debt, their decision making changes because the losses are much higher, and because their losses are much higher, they don't want to take the decision. They say that the market is wrong, I am right, let me continue down that path and salvage whatever I can. People who come back at step one, especially businessmen, they say that let me look for opportunities with 10% volume growth. People who continue down that path say that no, I am right, market is wrong, and let me continue. Out of every 10 decisions that every person takes, including billionaires, 3 are going to be wrong. We are all humans. Minimum 3 are going to be wrong. The fact is, businesses is not about continuing with bad mistakes, it's about getting up and starting again. Golden period comes only when you have volume growth, when you know what your customers want. If you borrow money, your decision making changes, your thought process changes, and you're liable to make mistakes. And you are going to go wrong even with debt at some point in time. And then that's going to come to hit you badly. So, as a businessman, to have debt and make a mistake and continue holding to that mistake is the reason why most people lose a lot of money in businesses. But great question. ROEs, ROCs, I can explain you in terms of data, they're cyclical. In a bad time, it just changes. So what you look at a ROC at a moment in time could be very different from an ROC at a different period in time. And I can show you many sectors that have the same characteristic. You look at cement, you look at steel, you look at sugar, you look at some other companies, look at auto ancillaries. So if they change, then there is another problem. But the principle behind it remains the actions of promoters. Any questions? Any more questions on this part? All right. Good. So, couple of questions, couple of interest. Anybody who's snoring? Yeah, continue snoring. I need some background music, but. So let's move on to the second part. Okay. Yeah, I have a stock, which I think is Bhagwan Krishna for me. Lekin yaar, ye saal it's down 10%. What do I do? Do I start doubting whether I picked up rightly? How do I convince myself कि ये है? कि यार, is this a Kaurav? Is this Pandav? Is this Bhagwan Krishna? What do you do? How do you know? You start doubting, right? You start doubting your investment. That's how do you know it's Krishna Bhagwan? What? How do you define in an investment that this is Krishna Bhagwan for you? Alright. So, for some reason, ये 8 साल का cycle है, lot of different things are there, ये होता है, वो होता है. So, my parameter is that I am investing in a business. If at a portfolio level, you can deliver 10% volume growth, 20% operating cash flow growth, and no debt, you're done here. क्योंकि क्या है कि as a business, cash flows are growing. कल something happens to the government and markets tank by 30%. It's a reality. It's an external environment's reality. What do I track? My tracking mechanism is not about how large my portfolio falls. How fast does it recover back to 100 rupees? If मेरे पास कृष्ण भगवान है, it will recover back faster than the market. Because tough times are there for everybody. It's how you recover from those tough times is what differentiates good quality investments. The parameter that we track is how much time does it take to recover from a drawdown. आप 8 साल का साइकिल बोल रहे तो I was talking to Warren Buffett sir. He said that here you're asking me about this cycle, he said that in 300 years there will be a nuclear catastrophe. So what is this 8-year cycle? He says I'm still investing in spite of knowing that there could be a nuclear catastrophe any time in the world, because he believes in the power of great businessmen and great businesses. He said the 1930s depression, the Hiroshima-Nagasaki event, businesses have recovered. and recovered extremely fast. Good quality businesses have the ability to recover extremely fast from catastrophes. तो मेरे को तो 8 साल का साइकिल, I love negative sentiments because when everybody says sell and you buy, I get it at a better price. I look at in my portfolio whether the company has the capability of recovering faster within a certain time frame. And as long as it has the ability to recover faster, I'm very, very comfortable holding the investment.
Well, so no SME investments.
Sorry?
No stop losses in investments.
If I have Krishna Bhagwan, why should I take him out here? Okay, in 2 साल में, let's say if I have 5 stock at one time, or 2 years I have 50 stocks. Where is the continuity? You will not get golden periods, you will get nothing. You can never predict a golden period. Investments is all about investing for the golden. Why does Warren Buffett say 10 years? बोलते हैं ना मैं 10 साल के लिए इन्वेस्ट करता हूँ, because he knows that in 10 years there is a golden period. बोलिए बोलिए.
ईयर 91 और 95 के बीच में 10 कंपनियां ऐसी है जो पायनियर थी उस टाइम पे, स्टार कंपनीज थी, और नोसिल है, ओके सिल्क है, हिंदुस्तान मोटर है, स्पीक है, जेके सिंथेटिक्स है, स्टार प्रोडक्ट है, मैंगो रिफाइनरी है, वाम प्रोडक्ट है,
सब में डेट है.
वेन टाइम में स्टार कंपनीज थी, एफओमी और ब्याज पे था, इन्हीं कंपनियों में हुआ करता था, हर आदमी इन्हीं कंपनियों में अपना पैसा लगाता था.
करेक्ट.
और डेट था नहीं था, ये तो मेरे पास बैलेंस शीट नहीं है, पर आज ये एक भी कंपनी नहीं है.
कंपनीज बस्ट क्यों होती है?
हम लोग तो इन्वेस्टमेंट में हमारा जो हम इन्वेस्टमेंट करेंगे उसमें रिस्क फैक्टर मिनिमाइजेशन कैसे हो. श्री कृष्ण भगवान तो हमारे साथ थे, उन्होंने भी बहुत सारी असूधामा को कैसे मारा था, रात कर दी थी खाटू श्याम बाबा. तो ये सब चीजें स्ट्रेटेजी थी. हमारा जो इन्वेस्टमेंट में रिस्क फैक्टर कैसे कम हो. मैंने काफी लोगों को इन्वेस्टमेंट कराया एक्चुअली. जैसे एल&टी फाइनेंस ने 3 साल से 2.5 साल से इन्वेस्टमेंट करा के रखा, इन्वेस्टमेंट रिटर्न नहीं मिला एक्चुअली. इनको में 2015 में लोड्स ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट मिला एक्चुअली. हमने 2015 के कॉन्फ्रेंस में 4-5 स्किट बोला था, एक्सिस बैंक बोला था, फोर्थ क्वार्टर में था, इन्वेस्टमेंट मल्टी मिलियन हो गया एक्चुअली. तो जो स्टॉप लॉस की आप बात करेंगे, जो 10 कंपनियां हैं ना, और भी 10 कंपनियां और है मेरे पास में जिनका खत्म हो गई कंपनी, और जैसे कि मेरे पास सिर्फ पड़े हुए 94 से. व्हाट आई कैन डू? तो कम से कम रिस्क फैक्टर मिनिमाइजेशन की आवश्यकता है. आप
तो हाउ डू यू मिनिमाइज रिस्क फैक्टर इज द क्वेश्चन दैट ही हैज, एंड ही गेव एग्जांपल्स of multiple stocks that were called very very good. आपने टाटा स्टील मिस कर दिया. हाँ, तो वो भी ब्लू चिप कहा करता था, एंड इट कम डाउन ट्रेमेंडसली. हाँ,
टाटा स्टील चल रहा है, ये तो चल ही नहीं, बंद हो गई है.
ये उससे भी खराब है, मतलब करेक्ट. जेके सिंथेटिक, ऑल ऑफ दीज. ये प्रॉब्लम ये होता है जब ग्रोथ नहीं आती है या डेट बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ जाता है, एंड यू कांट रीपे इन बैड टाइम्स. गलतियाँ सबसे होती है. व्हेन इन 91-92 the promoters didn't make a mistake. That is why they were up. 96-97 में उन्होंने गलती की, कोई तो रॉन्ग डिसीजन लिया, और रॉन्ग डिसीजन लेने से बिकॉज ऑफ डेट दे कुड नॉट गेट अप अगेन.
स्टॉप लॉस
नहीं, आप स्टॉप लॉस मत लगाइए. आप ये देखिए कि 10% वॉल्यूम ग्रोथ है कि नहीं है. आप डेट बढ़ रहा है या कम हो रहा है. अगर प्रोडक्ट्स के लिए डिमांड होगी, आपको सबसे बढ़िया सिग्नल इज नॉट द वॉलेटिलिटी ऑफ द मार्केट बट द वॉलेटिलिटी ऑफ द बिजनेस, which is if the business is not growing, then they're going to go to desperate measures. If profits are not being made, you're going to start moving to desperate measures. So please use business as a stop loss, not market price as a stop loss. अगर आपके पास कृष्ण भगवान है और आपको दर्शन सस्ते में मिल रहे हैं तो कर लीजिएगा. उल्टा मत कीजिएगा। बोलिए सर, एनी क्वेश्चन आपके लिए? So the question is not about how much it falls. For the short term, if fundamentals are there, the business will recover faster. अपन सब भगवान कृष्ण नहीं, अपन भी गलतियां करेंगे. So the way to identify you made a mistake is 10% volume growth, no debt, 20% cash flow growth. Yes.
You have identified the companies with 10% volume growth, 20% profit growth, and
Operating cash flow growth.
operating cash flow.
Growth.
And a debt-free company.
Yes.
Now you got 50 companies, let us say. You got the data now.
Correct.
And 50 companies are available.
Correct.
Now which one is your Krishna Bhagwan? You cannot have 50 Krishna Bhagwans.
नहीं.
You can have 2, 3, 4.
Correct.
Money is limited.
Correct.
So वो कैसे identify करना?
करेक्ट. मैं पोर्टफोलियो जब बनाता हूं तब इफ आई इन्वेस्टेड 100 रुपीज, आई वांट टू सी दैट क्यूमुलेटिव 7 ईयर ऑपरेटिंग कैश फ्लो इज इक्वल टू द मार्केट कैप ऑफ द कंपनी. सो मेरे को अगर वैल्यूएशन में 7 साल में मेरा 100 रुपया बन जाएगा कैश फ्लो के थ्रू, so I am comfortable, so I buy a basket that has this, and you will only find structurally solid companies that are there.
तो मतलब lot of conditions apply here. Simple formula नहीं है ये.
ये अगर सिंपल फॉर्मूला होता तो सब पैसे बना देते.
तो लक होना चाहिए.
लक तो होना ही चाहिए. अपन इंसान बने वो भी लकी है. लक तो 100% है, अपने सबके पास है.
डायमंड जैसा लक कहाँ से मिलेगा?
क्या?
डायमंड ब्राइट लक. अच्छा लक.
तो शादी कर लो, मिल जाएगा. मेरे को तो कृष्ण भगवान चाहिए.
सर कृष्ण भगवान ने कहा था कर्म किए जा, फल की चिंता न कर.
करेक्ट, बराबर है.
अच्छे कर्म किए जा बोला था.
जैसे अपन इन्वेस्टमेंट कर देते हैं और उसके बाद भाई उसमें मिल जाए
तो अपना नहीं
तो कर्म क्या है कि कैसे करना चाहिए. कर्म तो कौरवों ने भी किए थे, उन्होंने कर्म नहीं किए थे ऐसा नहीं है. कर्म तो भीष्म पितामह ने भी किए थे. कौरव भाई तो कौरव ने भी किए थे. तो कौन से कर्म करने चाहिए इज इम्पोर्टेंट. बट लेट मी टेल यू दिस दैट जब मैं खड़ा हूं बोलने के लिए, मेरे पास बड़ी टीम है जो ये सब डेटा लेके आती है. इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल फॉर एन इंडिविजुअल टू डू दिस. इट्स वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट. एंड जैसे आई एम टॉकिंग टू यू एंड व्हेन यू टॉक टू योर कस्टमर्स, you also do the same thing, you know, because you all have far better knowledge than your customer. That's why you give it to him. Recovery and business fundamentals is how I decide for the short terms. एक साल में business fundamentals अच्छे हो and I know recovery is fast. अगर मुझे मालूम है कि आज 100 रुपए का प्रॉफिट है और मैं उसके लिए 1000 रुपए दे रहा हूँ और वो 1000 रुपए से 700 रुपए पे आता है और प्रॉफिट 100 रुपए से 120 रुपए होता है, व्हाई इज इट बैड? मेरे को डिमांड दिख रहा है, मेरे को कैश फ्लो दिख रहा है, मेरे को ये दिख रहा है, आई एम हैप्पी, आई एम बाइंग मोर. हाँ, अगर उल्टा हो गया, कैश फ्लो 100 रुपए से 90 रुपया हो गया और 1000 से 150 रुपया स्टॉक हो गया, 1000 से 1500 रुपया, देन आई एम वरीड. प्रॉफिट ग्रो नहीं हो रहा है पर ये ग्रो हो रहा है. सो व्हाट आई कॉल सस्ते में दर्शन इज समथिंग कॉल्ड एज कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल. इफ देयर इज एन एसेट दैट जनरेट्स 100 रुपीज and cost of capital is 10%, I am willing to pay 1000 rupees for it. If cost of capital goes down to 5%, I'll pay 2000 rupees for it. with interest rates coming down, cost of capital is coming down. That's why, you know, all of you out here are worried कि इतने expensive हो गए stocks. So there are two questions that I asked Warren Buffett. What is the future of cost of capital and where will it be? And the second thing is, are you still investing assuming all the catastrophes that are there? Expectation of cost of capital will remain low. I don't think interest rates are going to rise for a long time. So as long as business fundamentals are there, you'll continue to do well. So this is how I track, and this tracking has worked well for me. Done second part, short term. और कोई क्वेश्चन शॉर्ट टर्म पे? हाँ जी.
यदि ऐसा लगता है कि मार्केट गिरने वाला है, बाजार में यूफोरिया बन जाता है. We see in market there is euphoria. We feel there is euphoria in the market. Like in 2008 we have seen, like in 1992, 1994 we have seen. And call and valuation of stocks increases too much. And suddenly some events, external events are also we are seeing कि they are not favorable to the stock market, not in India, all over the world. Should at that time we should sell our stocks and have some cash so we can buy at lower level. We are seeing in our knowledge, by our experience, we see there is a chances that market will go down, and 80%, 90% we feel market always goes down. So should we not sell some part of the holding we are having and have liquidity and buy, because at that time all stocks goes down. Whenever market there is a big fall, there is a big external effect in the market, stocks are available at a cheaper rate. So you should have enough money to buy at a lower level. And I am already invested at 90%, say 80%, and I want to engage that opportunity. So why I should not take a decision to sell this stock at that time?
So same question in a different way. So let me answer. So you know, every person has different skill sets. You know, some people can identify short-term trends, some people can identify long-term trends, etc. So there could be some people who are very good at trading and have created tremendous amount of wealth trading also. It's a skill set. I haven't seen any trader on the billionaires list today. And for me, I have two assets on my balance sheet. One is my time and one is my money. I want to use my time very, very carefully. If somebody is passionate about short term and is willing to spend a lot of time around there and has a skill set, it's great. Me and my firm and my business will never be able to do that. We don't have the skill sets for any short-term trading, and we will never ever be able to advise that.
Soros is a billionaire and he has been a trader also, a big trader.
No, he did fundamental. His biggest $1 billion came in the pound this thing, and that was pound devaluation. And pound devaluation means it was a fundamental call.
But his positioning is trading.
वो तो बाद में $1 billion बनने के बाद मिलियनर भी बन सकता है, एयरलाइन खरीद लो. वो तो you can, how do you become a billionaire is important. After that you want to become a millionaire, you can buy an airline.
जैसे ब्रिक्स का एक मेट्रो हुआ था यूके में, यूके का जो मेट्रो हुआ था,
ब्रेक्सिट,
तो जो उनको शॉर्ट टर्म करना था,
हाँ,
लॉट्स ऑफ जो हम 2 साल 5 साल महीने कमाए, 1 महीने में हम करके चले गए.
must be ना. So there are, that's what I said, there are different skill sets. लोगों के अलग अलग स्किल सेट्स है।
ट्रेडिंग वालों से करके गए, इन्वेस्टमेंट वालों से करके नहीं गए। जिन्होंने ट्रेडिंग करी उन्हीं से कमा।
हाँ हाँ, तो नहीं, ये अलग, अगर आपके पास स्किल सेट है तो बन जाएगी।
सेट है तो बन जाएगी।
हाँ, मतलब देयर आर मल्टीपल वेज ऑफ अर्निंग इन द मार्केट।
इसका मतलब कृष्ण आपके पास है तो सिर्फ रखे रहो, कभी नहीं बेचना।
सॉरी,
आपके पास कोई स्टॉक है तो उसको सिर्फ रखे रहना चाहिए कभी
नहीं, मैं गलती भी कर सकता हूँ, एंड आई टेल यू।
मैं जो सर को समझा कि अगर आपको लग रहा है ऑलमोस्ट पीक आउट हो रहा है तो उसमें कुछ पार्ट प्रॉफिट बुक कर लेना चाहिए उस स्टॉक में, जो मैं समझा। आपके साथ से नहीं करना चाहिए।
मैं तो नहीं करूँगा।
इनका जो है मॉडल, ग्रोथ इज कमिंग, टॉप लाइन ग्रोथ इज कमिंग,
वॉल्यूम ग्रोथ इज
ऑपरेटिंग
कमिंग।
प्रॉफिट इज कमिंग। हाँ, टॉप मतलब वो वॉल्यूम ग्रोथ इज
Correct.
कमिंग, टॉप लाइन ग्रोथ इज कमिंग।
अच्छा, एंड आई टेल यू व्हाई, व्हाट इज द डेटा सपोर्ट। मेरे को डेटा की बहुत जरूरत लगती है। सो व्हाई डू आई बिलीव दैट आई डोंट वांट टू सेल इन द नेक्स्ट 10 years? इंडिया का जीडीपी इज डिवाइडेड इनटू टू पार्ट्स। वन इज गवर्नमेंट रिलेटेड and one is consumer related. Consumer related GDP for the next 10 years, worst case scenario is 5%. क्यों 5%? रोटी कपड़ा मकान, एस्पिरेशंस, IT फार्मा। We as a country eat 1.2 meals a day. We're going to eat 2.5 meals, मतलब चाय और लंच लेते हैं तो लंच, डिनर और चाय तो लेंगे। वी बाय 0.3 क्लोथ पर कैपिटा। कपड़े नहीं अपने पास पहनने के लिए। फर्स्ट वी हैव बेसिक नीड्स, वी हैव 1.4 टॉयलेट्स पर 100। ये जो बेसिक नीड्स हैं उनको सेटिस्फाई करने के लिए आर जीडीपी विल ग्रो। एस्पिरेशंस, आपके शहर में भी एस्पिरेशंस है, कहीं बाटा के जूते एस्पिरेशंस है, कहीं expensive bags are aspirations, Chanel, shoes or whatever it is are aspirations. So urban and rural aspirations, IT and pharma. The world is aging, will require pharma. IT productivity is required, so that's what will be there. How much time do I have? I don't want to, I'm sorry, I don't want to cut, मेरे पास इतना टाइम। So let me know what the time is. Now last is, my portfolio when I started was very large. I built it up in 2013. So I'll come to the last part of it and then we'll have a conversation. My portfolio became extremely large. And why do I do this? मेरे को क्या करने की जरूरत है? Everybody will come to Pune or has relations in Pune. They ask about me and my family. You will come to know what the value is. मेरे को आचार्य जी बोले, and this is Vinoba Bhave, one of his disciples. He told me that you decide what your capability is. Can you light the lamp in one house or can you light a lamp in a million houses? And he said that you decide. तुमको अपने घर के लिए करना है, अपने फैमिली के लिए करना है तो करो। तुमको दूसरों के लिए करना है तो मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी। So I said that this is a strategy where I do well. I will continue to do this. And Purnartha's principle is Vasudeva Kutumbya. For us, globalization is Vasudeva Kutumbya, which really means what is good for me and my family is good for my clients. So ये जो बोलते हैं ना कि clients के लिए ये होता है, उनकी ये mentality है, उनका बाकी सब है, हम लोग को कोई problem नहीं है हमारे idea share करने में. People who have worked with us, we don't say that we will touch your money. We say that we will give you ideas. We don't even want to touch a single rupee. Of course, there are two reasons for it. मेरे बैलेंस शीट में मैं खर्चा क्यों बढ़ाऊं कंप्लायंस का? मेरा तो बैलेंस शीट रिसर्च पे स्पेंड करना है तो मैं रिसर्च पे ही स्पेंड करूंगा. I will not spend it on anything else. And I'm very comfortable that whatever I'm buying for my children, if I'm buying for you, I have no problems. Even if I make a mistake, I'm sure I'm good at it. Plus, not everybody is great at creating wealth. My wife will never be as good as I am. But अगर मैं वो घर पे सोचने लगेगी कि पैसा is most important in life, हमारे घर की quality of life खराब हो जाएगी. Because there will always be tension. So we do this also in a way that follows our principles of long time ago. And as customers, it's very easy to say this is what I'm buying for my family. You decide whether you want to buy it or not. And here's my track record of doing it. Investments has a negative mindset. When I analyzed my business, there were two parts. When I'm doing investments, I have to be in a negative mindset. I have to say, boss, ये गलत हो सकता है क्या? ये गलत हो सकता है क्या? ये गलती हो सकती है क्या? यहाँ पे कुछ छुपा तो नहीं रहा है. Client acquisition is a very positive mindset. You cannot have both things coexisting as a culture. आपको नेगेटिव भी रहना है, सुबह नेगेटिव रहे, दोपहर को पॉजिटिव रहे, इज नॉट पॉसिबल. You can be only one thing as a person. If you are a positive person in life, you like meeting people, look at client acquisitions, because then you create a platform. If your mindset is negative, very analytical, then you can also look at research and outsource client relationships, because you can't say ye kharab, because ultimately mindset is negative, so you're thinking negative also. Ye bhi kharab ho sakta hai, ye bhi kharab ho sakta hai, and that's normal, right? When I am wearing my research hat, I'm very negative. I don't like to be positive about things, and that's normal. So when we decided that we will have a team that does both these sides, अभी तो सीख भी गया हूँ कि with lot of profit growth, how to be balanced. But for the first few years of my life, when I was collecting the data, I had the framework, I had a negative mindset. Now it's become a lot more balanced. My suggestion to all of you who want to look at this as a business model, you should be able to, understand what your mindset is. Coming back to GDP growth, 5% GDP growth, roti, kapda, makan, IT aspirations, 7% inflation. So if you identify these businesses, 12% तो मिलना ही मिलना है equities में. For these businesses, operating cash flow is roughly about 8 to 9%. If I can deliver a 20% operating cash flow growth, 12% plus 12% difference in operating cash flow growth, I should do about 24 to 26% anyways. These parameters over a long term will give me 25 to 30% returns anyways. If I have internal environment और भी ज़्यादा हो गया, so it will become much more. So the strategy is based on an external environment because of roti, kapda, makan, and the lack, which is a need, that India's consumer-led GDP, not the government-led, will grow at 5% minimum. And that, I can challenge anybody to say that it won't happen. Saurav, anything that I missed? All right. So, 5 questions. This Rahul Rathi. Yeah, that's the slide that I want to show for the last 2 years. And Rahul Rathi ek hoga. Kar do.
Sometimes we have to give the value to the business.
Yes.
Even volume growth is not there.
Yes.
But brand is there, like McDowell.
Yes.
Because Dojo has acquired it, and chances are there in future when they will bring their brand to the India, what miracle can happen.
So what was the brand's name? Huh?
McDowell?
McDowell's. Okay. So
McDowell now, Diageo will brand all such items of their,
Correct.
like blue label, red label,
Correct.
black label, whatever is their
Correct.
brand. Because it is not, I am also looking after this portfolio activities, but in our framework, my framework, it is not comes. But market always tell, good peoples are always, big peoples are always tell, McDowell क्या हो जाएगा, McDowell क्या हो जाएगा.
Correct. So
इसके बारे में कुछ बोल सकते
Yeah, yeah. So there are two styles. Okay. ये McDowell वाला है ना. So there is a lot of data and hope. Okay. I only work on data. I'll tell you what is the hope in McDonald's. Every state has a different regulation. Every state has tremendous capex. There is a parallel economy which is cash based. So the hope is that McDonald's understands the cash part of economy and will reward shareholders. I have no experience of how they have done to reward shareholders. The data part is that people are drinking more and more. As people's stress levels go up, drinking is becoming mainstream. That is why people will continue to do it.
This is the theme, Warren Buffett. ऐसा स्टॉक
नहीं,
लो,
Warren Buffett
नहीं, ऐसा स्टॉक लो जो अच्छे समय में भी चले और खराब समय में भी चले.
Correct.
तो always Ramesh Damani has invested heavily in 50 rupees.
Correct.
Or the miracle has done in McDonald's.
Yeah. So this is Ramesh's, but I don't like the debt part and I don't like the cash part of the business. So मेरे को debt and cash dealing. I know a lot of excise officers. मैंने देखा हुआ है कितना खर्चा आता है, कितना ये आता है. मेरे को I want to find people whom I enjoy, businesses whom I enjoy being with. I don't enjoy being with the McDowell's management team. मतलब बात करने में खुल के ऐसी बात होनी चाहिए. ये नहीं होना चाहिए कि मैं कुछ छुपा भी सकता हूँ.
नहीं अच्छी बात.
Just a slide to to blow my own trumpet. 2014 में this is client returns. So whatever portfolios we have built, we have never sold any time. Market has returned about 12%, and these are monthly audited portfolios. And we have returned double हो गया. But this is history, and it's very positive. So I want to share this with you, just to say that this strategy also makes sense. So 5% GDP growth है consumers का. If cement and steel are growing at 1%, something has to grow at 10%, 11%, 12% for that to compensate. So if you can identify sectors that are growing at 10% and you believe there's a structural story there, then it's very easy to do it. So these are all audited. You can get it from Saurav that you want. I'll just leave it there and answer questions if you have any. And this is all long term. अपने को एक advantage दिया है कि we don't have to pay taxes. That's a big advantage that we have. Yeah, Yamendra.
Give an example of a stock where we have made multiple returns and a stock where we have gone wrong. Success.
Yeah. So there are multiple stocks where we have made a lot of money. I must have made about 17, 18 times in Sera. I hold 4% of Sera. I've gone wrong. Two stocks that I've definitely, one was Gujarat Pipavav, because I don't think commodities prices. So structural change हो गया. Till 2016, Jan RBI report, I expected commodity prices to continue to grow. उनके report में आ गया था कि commodity prices will not grow for the next few years. So a port is dependent on commodity prices because they transport commodities back and forth. अगर उन port के clients के पास पैसा नहीं है, तो port कहाँ से कमाएगा? The reason I don't invest in the government stocks is because government के पास पैसा नहीं है, they are borrowing. आपके ऐसा कोई क्लाइंट होगा जिसके पास पैसा नहीं है, आप उसके साथ बिजनेस करोगे क्या, या कैश बेसिस पे करोगे? और देयर ऑलवेज बी स्ट्रेस. सो आई डोंट लाइक companies where their clients have this thing. A mistake that I made was, actually this is a genuine mistake, was Just Dial. I bought Just Dial. I bought it at 1,000 rupees. I have gotten out of it, and it had all the characteristics except for one that was there in the last 1 year, that its clients were exiting. So there was a 40% churn, and I thought that 40% churn is okay, but I was obviously wrong. I thought they're not getting enough data to continue to build, to service their clients. That was a stock that I went wrong in. And these are returns after buying both the stocks, that there are. So, 2 mistakes. And because of this mistake, I identified another stock that's become a multi-bagger, but that's a different story. So I will continue to make mistakes because life is all about learning from your mistakes. I don't mind making mistakes. I'm very happy if a stock goes down. If I'm wrong fundamentally, that's what it is. I'm not God that I will get everything right. And I want to enjoy myself as a person. Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, I'm a new customer and I like, so you bought Infosys and you bought Infosys and Maruti. So recently, and all of a sudden Infosys went down and my wife told, hey, what you have done? So what are your thoughts about the Infosys and Maruti?
Maruti is a great internal environment. I won't go through the whole story, but I'll give you this. You look at a Swift. A Swift is 1050 kgs in weight and costs 4.2 lakh rupees. A Baleno is 950 kgs and sells at 7.2 is the average, 6.5. So here's a company which is like Starbucks, kharcha kam kar rahi hai and selling prices higher. So people tell me that that's not the right example because Baleno has a lot more electronics. But if you look at the auto ancillaries, they've always been able to reduce prices. There is no car where prices 5 years earlier and today has come down. So you continue to reduce your costs while your selling price never comes down. Infosys, okay? First gold was gold. Second gold was black gold. The oil, when oil went up. What is the third gold? Third gold is data. If you look at why Microsoft purchased LinkedIn for an obscene valuation with no operating cash flows, is because of data. There was this game called Go in Korean, when the guy beat the Korean, the world champion, Chinese world champion. Analytics and algorithms are going differently. What is happening is that for the first time, they fed the computer all the games. And they told the computer that through machine learning, figure out what your strategy should be. And the output was this. All now machine learning requires is data. Infosys has the ability to collect that data, articulate that data, and continue to grow that data. The fact that they have Facebook, the fact that they have Google, the fact that they have Apple as their clients, and they're working on both structured and unstructured data. I think that is the new gold. 14% volume growth hai, pricing power nahi hai, they don't require any this thing. So fundamentally, large cap versus small cap in IT, large cap will do much better because of pricing pressures. Small cap does not have that ability. And the hidden asset is data. You don't know what the valuations are in the next 10 years. Thank you. Aji.
On the data, what you have shown there, 4th July 14, your NAV was 207.
No. It was 100 rupees. It became 207 as of yesterday.
That is what I am saying. Now 1st February 2016, it is 122. You are going down. Where do you stand now?
See, for me, for 14th of July, there have been multiple quarterly earnings that have come.
Okay.
So as earnings keep on coming, rediscovery keeps on happening and value keeps on going. And this is 22, this is not CAGR, this is actual returns. So 4 महीने में आप कौन सा बोल रहे हो?
1st February 2016.
1st Feb 2016.
It's become 122.
हाँ तो 22 in how many months? March, April, May, June, July, August. 6 महीने में 22%.
No, it's not cumulative. We're not talking
No, no. It's absolute returns. So the portfolio that I created on 1st February has returned that.
It's an independent data.
They are absolutely independent. But thank you for clarifying.
Would you like to give some specific script?
No.
Sector? All sector?
No.
Acha, come to other way. Single script.
कृष्ण भगवान
वो आप बता दो.
वो तो आपका स्किल है
वो ठीक है लेकिन फिर
वो तो आपका स्किल है that is what you have to do and my this thing is I have intellectual property which I have to monetize free में कुछ नहीं मिलता है
वासुदेव कुटुंबा बोले ना अभी तो
हाँ तो I am investing for my family.
No, this is your family.
No, they have to pay me. My family gives me love. So, huh?
Then become a member of your family.
Sorry?
First, we have to.
वो हो सकते हो. That is a different story. But this is a business forum. मतलब I can, I can do it. Thank you very much. You've been a wonderful audience. Appreciate this.